Hey guys, so I just wrapped up a full playthrough of The Altars, and let me tell you, it's not what I expected.
I went in thinking I'd get a nice little base builder game in space. And guess what I got? Existential dread, philosophical fistfights, and an army of me, arguing over who screwed up our life the worst.
It's a completely chaotic party, so let's go ahead and talk about why The Altars is not what I expected it to be.
Bit of a disclaimer that this game is quite dialogue heavy, but trust me, it's what adds so much spice and substance to it. At the start, you play as Jan Dolsky, a space engineer who crash lands on a slowly rotating death planet that gives off a pretty eerie cosmic horror type of energy. It's very dark, it has rough terrain with a pretty off-putting music score in the background, which adds more thrill whenever you're exploring the map.
Honestly, I had to turn off the background music for this one because even though there are no aggressive alien species that would charge at you while exploring, I really just can't help but overthink.
Oh, and get this, you're the sole survivor. But plot twist, once you get the base up and running, you find a quantum machine that uses your DNA to let you create altars, which is the title of the game. Basically, alternate versions of yourself from timelines where you made different life choices. Main goal of the game? Well, start up the base, gather resources to survive, upgrade rooms, and do everything you can to get off the planet before the sunrise comes, or else you're toast. And with that, you'll need the help of your altars. First altar I made? Technician Jan. The guy has the hottest temper from the bunch, and probably the most unhinged. Dude walks in like he owns the place, side comments here and there as he judges my resource management. The second altar that came to life was Scientist Jan. He's very strong-willed, intelligent, and based on his name, he's quite a know-it-all.
And I have to admit, I kind of struggled relating to this Jan altar mainly because of his snobbish and uptight attitude, but I do admire that he's all about efficiency.
He's a guy with a goal, so I tend to just keep him in the research lab. Now, I don't really want to get into spoilers, but the overall interaction between different Jan altars feels like an interdimensional therapy session where you are both the patient and the shrink. And yeah, some of those conversations can pull some heartstrings, most especially whenever the altars would reminisce about their fond memories with their late mother and their longing to make her proud.
This proves I was right to stick with Mom. Wait, is Mom... is she maybe still around here? No. I wish she was. She always knew what to do.
Now, those are the type of moments that really made me pause the game a lot and just have a quick, quiet moment. It's pretty dramatic, guys.
Next up is the game mechanics. It's like Fallout Shelter meets existential dread. On the surface, the gameplay feels familiar. You've got a mobile base, this chunky, slow-moving tank that constantly needs repairs, and you're building rooms, assigning tasks, gathering resources, trying to survive. Oh, and don't get me started on those radiation filters that I almost always have to keep an eye on producing. Overall, it's your typical base builder game with a slightly overwhelming UI and controls at first, but you'll get used to it.
And aside from that, here's the kicker. Your crew is you, and you guys don't really get along. At least not all the time.
There was one moment where Technician Jan and Scientist Jan stopped speaking to each other because of a disagreement over wanting to get more off days. Now, I spent some time trying to mediate their Jan off, so in the end I sided with the Scientist Jan and didn't give them any day offs due to our lack of resources. Now, this decision pissed off Technician Jan big time. So technically, you're not just micromanaging a base, you're managing versions of yourself with regrets and a bit of trauma.
And for some reason, everyone is easily annoyed by you. Prime Jan.
You want me to tell you? When you're successful, you know it. You don't have to run around asking people.
You'll also see some parts of the game bring a good homage to Fallout Shelter's room management layout and Frostpunk's impending snowstorm, but this time it's the sun burning you alive, but we'll get more into that later on.
What makes this game unique? Well, You are the drama. Now, aside from its familiar gameplay, let's dive into what makes the game unique. Forget random NPCs. In the altars, every character is you but shaped by different decisions.
There's the technician, scientist, miner, botanist, refiner, and a lot more. Each has different skills, and get this, they remember choices you made as the Prime Yon. I mean, one time I asked Botanist Yon to talk to Prime Yon's ex-wife to sort out their personal issues. And I mean, let's face it, Botanist Yon is such a softy family man who's a sucker for love. He then went on and on about being a good husband and shared his disbelief at how Prime Yon could fumble his ex-wife.
Hell, it was tough for me to lie to her. She seemed so distant. How the hell did you manage to fuck up such a good thing?
Now, the dialogue and immersion in this game is next level. There were moments where I found myself getting attached to each Yon in my base, which led me to make sure they're all in proper care. Despite their egos and frequent annoyance with one another, they all have stories to tell. Some of them bond, others argue, some silently resent you. It's like running a workplace where everyone knows your deepest secrets and isn't afraid to bring them up during the morning meeting.
And for 100th time, they're all you. In case you didn't catch that. Okay, so if you're wondering what this game's overall vibe feels like, the very first thing that came to mind during my first playthrough was its similarities to Fallout Shelter.
The base building system, it's instantly familiar if you've ever micromanaged vault dwellers. You've got rooms to build, like kitchen, workshop, and medbay, each with specific functions. You assign different versions of Yon to those rooms to keep things running smoothly. But unlike vault dwellers who mostly just smile and wait for your click, your altars have opinions, needs, and traumas. And they don't care that you're Prime Yon. If they're overworked, underfed, or underappreciated, they'll straight up refuse tasks. Or just tell it straight to your face. It's basically like Fallout Shelter if your entire vault unionized, demanded therapy, and knew exactly which of your past decisions ruined their lives. Yep, there is a timeline for that. Now, in terms of its overall bleak and cold atmosphere that's pushing you towards desperation, I couldn't help but see the similarities to Frostpunk, where time is your enemy. The sun rotates out of reach, your base keeps moving, and the magnetic storm always feels one tick away from swallowing you whole. Now, aside from that, you have a radiation storm curfew and weird alien anomalies to deal with during your exploration. It can all feel a bit too much. Another cool feature is the cloning and expendable aspect of this game, which reminds me so much of that Robert Pattinson film, Mickey 17. The story where a guy keeps getting cloned every time he dies, and each version is a little more broken than the last. Yeah, that existential cloning dread, and the what makes me feeling.
The altars channel the same eerie energy, only it hands you the controls and says, good luck managing your base and surviving and fixing your fractured soul and talking to your altars.
Just fuck off!
This game, man. Now let's talk about what can be improved from this game. Let's be real, the game isn't perfect. For all its brilliance and how I would definitely rate it 10 out of 10, there are some rough edges and maybe some personal nitpicks from my end.
So, what can be improved? After a while, the gameplay loop gets a bit predictable. Gather this, fix that, calm this Yon down, and rinse repeat. I mean, I get it. We're stranded on a cursed planet with a 20-minute sunlight cycle and deadly radiation, but maybe a little more spice wouldn't hurt. The resource gathering could definitely use more variety, I'd say. It's mostly explore, set up deposits, craft your tools, upgrade the base, grab some resources, talk to those jerks on Earth, and don't die. I mean, I was hoping for occasional anomalies with mini puzzles all over the terrain, or even moral choices while scavenging. Something to break up the monotony and change up the survival routine before the sun rises.
And well, to wrap things up, The Alters isn't what I expected it to be at first glance.
It's not just a survival sim, it's a deep, mind-melting story of learning about yourself while in survival mode, wrapped in sci-fi and base building.
There's really something about the overall story and gameplay that feels therapeutic. It's almost an escape. I loved every second of playing the game. Not because it was easy, no.
But because my encounter with every version of Yawn was so complex. Each version had their own stories to tell, had their own regrets, hopes, dreams, and baggage that they carried with them. And by the end of it, it makes you think that the real survival aspect of the game isn't really just collecting resources and managing the base. No. Maybe the true survival is surviving and learning from our past decisions and regrets. Kinda deep stuff.
Pretty heavy stuff to think about, guys. Pretty heavy stuff. So, what do you guys think? Have you guys played the game? Let us know who was your favorite alter. Or which alter got on your nerves the most? Sound off in the comments down below. Go ahead and smash that like button if you enjoy emotionally devastating base builders such as this one. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Once again, it's been me, Elle, and I'll see you guys in the next one.